Hello, it's Mary at Paper Turtle. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here for a while. Today I'm going to do a craft along slash tutorial, I guess. I am making this envelope flippy thing. I don't know what you call it. I did get the idea from somebody else, and I am so sorry. I don't remember who. It was a while ago. And I've changed it up a little from whatever it was that they did. But, you know, we all get our ideas from other people. But anyway, this is made from envelopes. And it's so much fun to make. And I think it'll be fun to use. This one I made designed to attach to a journal page, such as, I'll show you how it will look in a journal. This is my 2021 journal that I haven't done anything in yet. But let's say it would go on a page just like this. That's a little busy. I probably wouldn't put it there. Maybe I would put it on a solid page like that. And what it does, it's made of envelopes, and you flip. And there's a pocket right here. If I can get the paper in this pocket, it seems to be closed. I should have made the cards to put in here before I showed you this, but so here's a pocket right here. You flip. There's a pocket right here. You flip this one. There's some journaling space on all of these. Pocket there. Then you flip the bottom. You can't see the bottom, but you flip the bottom down. There's a pocket here. Then you flip this one. There's a pocket here. All this journaling space. There's a pocket here, and there is a pocket here. So there's lots of fun things to explore in this little flippy envelope, flippy pocket thingy that we're doing. And it's a lot of fun to make. So this is what we're going to make today. If you wanted this freestanding or to clip into your journal, you would decorate the back too. But I'm going to attach it in like this, so I didn't decorate my back. So we are going to get started on this and see how far we can get. So what you'll need, this particular one is made of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 envelopes, all different sizes. Now, if you collect note cards, stationery, greeting cards, anything like that, you probably have, as I do, a supply of envelopes. So dig into your envelopes and get all your different sizes of envelopes. So this is what I'm using. And I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to lay it all out. But I have one big envelope for the base. And that's going to be my bottom. Now, you also want to think about how you're going to use this. If you're going to put it into a journal, either on the page or clip it in, you want to think about how big your journal is. So you don't want your base bigger than what your journal is. You want it to fit nicely into your journal. I make bigger journals, so my base can be a little bit bigger. And then you want just different size other envelopes. These are all different sizes. The colors of the envelopes don't really matter too much, although, like on mine, you can see some of the envelope, and I did that intentionally. All depends on how you plan on decorating it. So this one was a blue envelope, and I think I have, let's see, this one was a gold envelope, and the others were probably just white or beige envelopes. So that's up to you. You know, you can do it however you want because it's your project. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do is figure out the layout of how the envelopes are going to go on here. You want them to overlap in a way that they won't impede each other, but they'll complement each other. Like this one, I had intended for this to fold up here, for it to be like this, so that like this is not covering up this picture, or I don't know, this, it just, you just want it to flow. Like this is not covering up this smaller envelope. And that can be, you can determine that when you're decorating it too. But just play around with it a little bit. And what you're going to do is you're going to take the flaps, and those are going to be your hinges. So, for example, this might go here. And then I might put one of the smaller ones. Maybe I could do it like this, so that this one will flap up. This one will flap this way. This one I think I might do on the bottom, like that. And then, let's see. I don't know if I had a plan. When I put this, I made mine quite a while ago, and I pulled out these other envelopes to do this on camera back when I did the other one. And I don't know if when I pulled out the envelopes I actually had a plan, or if I just kind of grabbed a few envelopes at the time. But let's see. So we have this flip here. Maybe, I wonder how it would be if we did this one here. Flip this way. This whole thing would flip like this. I don't know if I would like that. Maybe I need one here. That, like that, like that, and like that. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it that way. Okay. Now, once you have your envelopes where you want them, like I said, just play around with them and use different size envelopes. And I almost think I want something coming down here, or even this way. Hold on one second. Well, you don't have to hold on. I'm going to pause this for 1 second while I go to my envelope box over there and see if I have an even smaller envelope that I might put right there. So, hang on. Okay, I am back. And so is Heidi. And she's going to get down in a minute, aren't you, Heidi? Yep. Go ahead. Thank you. Okay, why is it, let's use the cat hair. Why is it that when you want to find something, you can't find it? I have a million envelopes. There's a whole tote box full of envelopes. And I couldn't find the small envelope that I was looking for. I could have sworn I had like really small, like this size envelope. I can't find it. So, and another thing, if you don't have envelopes, you can make them. And you can make them any size. But I don't want to take the time right now to make any envelopes, so I'm using what I have. But I pulled out these, and this one is too big. I'm not going to use that one. This one, all right, we got one that's a little shorter but taller than the other one. So let's see. How did I say I wanted it? Like this. if I position it up there, I think that will work. Now, one thing to be aware of when you are doing this is it is going to get bulky. It's going to get bulky because all of these are going to have layers of paper and embellishments on them. So if you don't want it too bulky, use fewer envelopes. And I think, let's see. Put that up there. I don't know. Maybe I won't use an envelope, but I'll make a pocket instead. All right, well, we'll see. I want to do something with that, with this, I think. All right. Now, this project, I have to tell you, takes a lot of thinking out and planning ahead and figuring out what it is you want to do. Or you can just kind of go at it and do it as you go along, and whatever comes, whatever happens, happens. You can do it that way too, which I might end up doing. I don't know. So I'm just going to take it all apart for now. And it's not going to end up how you plan it to begin with. I'll just warn you of that. Okay, so our base is going to be the base. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to seal it because I know I'm not going to use this opening. So I'm going to just go ahead and seal it closed. And this is going to be my it had like glue on it or something. This is going to be my back side of my envelope. This will be my front. Now, at this point, I need to decide, do I want this to be a side pocket, a top pocket, or what kind of pocket do I want? And that's going to depend on what I'm going to put on it next. So, I think that this one is going to go on it somehow, and I'm thinking maybe like this. Will I have a bottom one on there? Yeah, I think I'm going to go like this. I think I'm going to make this a top pocket. Okay. So I'm going to just slice off this, the top part. This is my new cutter. I love this cutter. I can cut like very, very thin on it. I'll show you. Let's see. See how thin that's sliced? I love it. So if you don't want to shave off inches off of your project, but you need to create your opening or something, that worked very, very well. And I'm going to make the notch because it's going to be a top. Actually, I think I'm going to wait to make the notch. I'm going to cover it first. Then I can notch out whatever I'm going to cover it with. Okay, so let's just look at the sample for a minute. And what I did on the sample one was I covered the whole thing with a piece of paper that could be journaled on. And then I made a pocket. So I think I'm going to do that same thing. And I have some light colored paper here. And I think I'll use this. So I need to cut it. What happened to my ruler? It is on the floor. Hold on a second. I gotta grab my I have a magnetic ruler that goes on this this cutting mat, and I keep it here, so I don't know what happened to it. It ended up on the floor somehow. Okay, so this is 5 3/4 by 8 1/2. Now, I am going to use my other cutter because, well, actually, this one, yeah, this one will work. Okay, this cutter, the only thing that I don't like about it, let me see if you can see here, it only goes up to 9 inches. I think it's like 9 1/4 or something. It doesn't do the full 12 inches. It's okay normally, but if I do have something that I need to cut down, it doesn't work well. All right, so what did I say? 8 1/4? Is that what I said? I always have to do this twice because I never remember. No, 8 3/4 by 5 3/4. 5 3/4 by 8 3/4. So here's 8. And see, it doesn't measure 8, and I don't know where 3/4 is going to be. So I am going to pull out my other cutter just for that reason. Eight 3/4. Ugh. This cutter, the reason I got a new cutter is this one just does not, it's not working well, and it's a new blade, and it still cuts jagged, and I don't know. 5 3/4. Now, you could use your tear ruler. You could just tear with your hands. You could, instead of doing a full sheet like I'm doing, you can collage it. Decorate yours however you want. I just happen to be, this is just the way I'm doing it. Okay, so that's that. What is on there? Oh, are they flowers? I hope they're flowers. First I thought they were like dancing fairies or something. Can you see that pattern? It kind of worried me for a moment. I thought they were like naked bodies or something. Don't ask me why I thought that. I don't know. See what my cutter does? And I have changed the blade. And I know this paper is thin, and that's probably why, but it shouldn't do that. You should be able to cut a piece of paper without getting it all jagged. All right, enough of that. All right, so I'm going to, I wonder what, I have this new ink. I haven't used it, and I don't know what the coloring on it is. I'm going to try it. I think I used it once, but I don't remember what it looked like. So let me try it and just see. Piece of paper. Oh, I like it. Yeah, I'll use this for now. That's, in case you're wondering, it is Distress Ink tea dye. I know the worst thing to do on a video is to sit there and have to watch somebody ink the edges of their paper. Sorry. That's why during this time, while I'm inking my paper, you could be doing something on yours. Or what I do when I'm watching a video and it gets to this type of, this point in the video, that's when I make my words with friends play. That's when I take my turn. Because I'm always playing words with friends while I'm watching the video. All right. Let me get my inking, my glue sheet here. I'm going to be gluing on. Might need a new thing of glue. I have all kinds of half-used, mostly used glue sticks sitting on my desk here. And I really should dig into them and use the, you know how you get down to the bottom and it's inside the, inside this part? Then you have to dig it out with a little spatula thingy. That's where I'm at. And I don't always like to do that on, you can't do that on a big sheet. That's like for little things and my glue book and stuff like that. So I have them all sitting around waiting for me to do that, to use them like that. And I'm just laying it on here, hoping it's all nice and straight, and smooth it out. So that's my first, covering the first base. Not the first base, the base to the whole thing. And now I can put the notch in it. Should wait till the glue dries, but I think it'll be okay. Yep, I should have waited till the glue dried. Oh, Mary, listen to yourself and take your own advice. I'll redo that in a minute once the glue is dry. Okay, we need a pocket. And I think I'm going to use this as the pocket. And I know that this is 5 3/4, and I want my pocket to be, oh, how big do we want it? Let's do, I'll do 3 1/2. So 5 3/4 by 3 1/2. And I will use this one because I have the measurements on here. 5 3/4. I think I want it to go the other way. 3 1/2. See how cleanly that cuts? That's how a cutter should cut. If you push it down enough. It always has to prove me wrong. Why does it do that? Now I can make my notch in this one. So when you're doing this little project, it's just, you're just taking the envelope, making layers and decorating them and coming up with how you want them to lay and how many flips you want. And you could do it with just like 3 envelopes if you want. If this is like what I'm doing is too many, that works too. And you know, it all works. All right, now for the edges, when I'm gluing on a pocket, I use the art glitter glue just because it makes a nice thin line. I think I'm going to need to order some more of this soon. You know, I was reading on some of the groups that they don't ship this in the winter. But I live in Florida, so I guess depending on where it's shipping from, I should be okay. I don't know. You might try it and see what happens. I don't need it yet. I still have probably 3/4 of a bottle there, so. Now, I'm going to decorate this a little further once I have it more put together, because I will want to see like where the pockets are going to lay, and how if I put an image on, where it's going to end up showing on the whole flippy thing. So for now, I'm just doing the backgrounds, and then I will do the the decorating. Okay, so the next envelope, I think we could go like this. And I could do one like that maybe. Or do I want it on the bottom? I could do one on the bottom and one on the... No, I don't like that. So I could do it like that. Now, which of these is a bigger envelope? This one or this one? That one, okay. So I want that there, I think. And I could do one, since my opening is at the top, I can do one over here. Well, it doesn't matter, I could do one either way. Maybe a smaller one, so that it folds like that. Yep, I like that. Okay. Now, when you're covering these and you're picking your paper and stuff, well, it depends on how you do it. You can make it coordinate, or you can make it not coordinate, or, you know, however you choose to decorate yours. And I think I like that there. Look at that. That fits like perfectly on there. And I think I am going to just hair this side, because it's like right so close to being the perfect size. It's just going to be just as easy for me to do this, I think. Why is this not tearing? Oh my goodness. Maybe because I'm not flat. Wow, this is like... What in the world? All right, well... Oh, plan B. This is... I don't know why that paper didn't tear. I've never seen that before. That's kind of odd. I'm going to do this as close as I can. I hope it's not too short. But if it is, that's alright, because I'm going to ink the edges anyway. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so I'm going to put that one on there. But now I have to decide where I'm going to want the pockets on these. Do I want to open it up and have the pocket here like this? I think so. I think I'll do that. So let's just work on this one. So since I'm going to do that, I also want to cover the inside of this. Should I cover it with this instead? And then something else here. Let me see, what else do I have? I have this, but it's very bright. Yeah, let's do that. Why not? All right. So this one is 4 by 5 1/4. 4 by 5 1/4. Remember that. order. Now, remember, you can tear your paper, you can cover this with book page, which I will probably do some with book page. There's just so many different ways that you can do this. Don't take what I'm doing as the way to do it, because it's not. It's the way I'm doing it. And I would love to see how you do it. I don't know how you would show me, though. How are you going to show me? I need my own, like, Facebook group or something. You know, speaking of which, people are just leaving Facebook in droves. And I've gone on to the other site, MeWe, that people are going to. Well, I don't have any friends on there yet, so of course I'm not seeing anything. But I searched in the groups for a junk journal group, and I couldn't find one. I looked through every crafting group that they have on there, and you can't search. You can search for a category, which junk journals is not a category. Crafting is a category. You can search for a category, but you can't search for a group. So I think that the site has some things to iron out, and so I'm not quite ready to totally abandon Facebook yet, because I like my junk journal groups, and that's the main reason that I'm still on Facebook, is for the crafting groups. And if I can't find this comparable things on the other site, then I'm not ready to go there. Okay, now to cover just this part, what you want to do is put your paper that you're going to be covering it with inside the envelope. This is how I do it anyway. Maybe there's an easier way to do it. If you can get your thing inside the envelope. Oh, I love how things don't go smoothly on camera. But I'm not going to sweat it, because you know what? This is real life crafting. This isn't staged and I know people say they don't want to watch somebody fumbling around on camera, but like I said, it's real life crafting. If we were doing this in person together, sitting side by side, this would be happening. So, okay, so you put your paper inside the envelope, and it will be a snug fit, because it's the same size as the envelope, so it's going to go in snugly, and that's a good thing. You don't want it, if it's too small, you'll have edges showing, which is okay if that's what you want. Again, if you're going to ink it or something, that's perfectly fine. So now I am drawing, I'm just tracing the opening of the envelope. You take it out and you cut that, and then that will fit perfectly on there. And I'm noticing I have a little overlap right here, which I'm going to trim off, just because it's not even. I wish I could see it better. Where does it start? I hope I'm not cutting into the envelope, because you don't want to do that. I think that's good. Okay. So then you just cut along your draw line. And it should fit perfectly. Now, it might be easier for you to make all of your own envelopes. Then you don't have to do this. You don't have to cover them. If you make them out of whatever paper you want to use for the project, you don't have to go to all of this work of covering them and stuff. But to me, that's part of the fun of doing this project, is picking out the paper and covering the envelopes and decorating them and stuff. So it just depends on what you feel like doing. You can make this so much simpler than what I'm doing by only using, what, 3 envelopes? Use 3 envelopes, then you got 3 flaps and that's it. And that would be less bulky in your journal, if that's what you're going for. I expect my journals to be bulky, and I'm still learning, like the ratio of spine size to signature size, and the number of signatures and the pages in the signatures, to get it just right for my own journals, for my own use. It's kind of a trial and error thing to get it exactly the way you want it. Okay, now I'm going to add a little bit of ink on the sides of this, because as you can see, there's a little bit of edge showing. So I'm just going to ink it. And these are going to be decorated even more once I have them all situated and I know where they're going in the book and everything. I think I'm going to try to edge this a little bit, ink this a little bit right here. There. Now, I'm also going to ink this, I think, because that's going to be showing. Yeah. This is going to be underneath. It's going to be hidden, so you don't have to worry about this. And you don't have to worry about this, because it's going to be like this. Okay. I'm going to ink a little bit on this side, because I think a little tiny bit of this might show. So I'll just ink that like that. Yep. Okay, so that's that one. Next envelope. I think is going to be this one. To decide how I want them to lay. I like them to lay so that they're of course they're overlapping, but so that some of it shows on the bottom there. And I think it's going to go like that. So this one is going to have this pocket here. This one has the opening up here. So I think that this one, I will make the opening here. Okay, so that means, I'm sorry, I just realized that I keep saying okay. I'm trying very hard to not repeat the same phrase over and over again, and I catch myself doing it, and I'm realizing that on different videos it's different phrases. I don't know, I don't get it, but I'm trying. Now, something I'm noticing here, my envelope is peach, right? And I've got peach right here and kind of a pinky peach here. So if I don't completely cover this up, I think I'm okay with that. So maybe I'll collage something on here and leave some of this peach showing, because it goes very well with the rest of it. What do you think? I might do that. But before I do anything, I have to cover this side so that this part here is closed off. So I just need a piece of paper. And I might have to dig into other paper sources because I have this. And I have this. I'm going to pause you for a second. And I'm going to dig into my 6x6. Will it work? This is 6.5. So 6x6 is going to be too short. I'm going to have to dig into some more paper and see if I can find something that I want to work with this. And I will be right back again. Okay, I am back. And I've pulled out this paper here. And I also just want to show you the collection that I've pulled some of these pages from. This is from Paper Studio, which means it's a Hobby Lobby product. And it's called La Belle Rose. I got it on clearance at some point in time. I do not know when, so I'm going to guess they don't have it anymore. But who knows, maybe you can find it somewhere. And it is full of these really gorgeous floral papers. They're different colors and they're kind of like watercolor paintings. I just love it. I think it's gorgeous. I don't know why, but I like that one. That's not usually my color palette, but I do like that one. It'll make a really nice fall journal. That's pretty. So that's where some of these papers have come from that I'm using. Okay. Stick that back there. So what was I doing? I need to cover this. And what size do I need to cut it? 4 3/4 by 6.5. 4 3/4 by 6.5. And this doesn't have a right or wrong way on it, so I don't have to worry about that. Which is good. 4 3/4. 6.5. No fraying of my edges. I love it. Okay, so what we're doing, I'm going to cover this, and it's going to be covered completely. Yes. I have to think about it, because what did I say I was doing? I was going to make this is going to be the opening over here. Here. So I just need to cover this completely, but not glue here. So I need to glue this, and I need to glue a line right here. I have to think these things out, because if I don't think them out like that, then I mess it up, and I have to, what is it saying? Think twice. Think twice, don't mess it up. I don't know. That's just my saying, I guess. I'm going to put this in here so that I don't get glue on that part. So I'm just gluing this part up. I'm not going to cut it or clip it until it dries. And I know not to do that. I know better than that. But for some reason, sometimes I just do it anyway. I get in a rush to do something, and it just, I don't know, it happens. So I'm just doing one bead of glue down there. because we want the envelope to remain accessible. I hope this isn't going to be like a super, super, super long video, but I have a feeling, it is. This is the pace I work. I work rather slowly sometimes, and that's okay to work slowly, except when you're trying to do a video and people don't want to sit there and watch for 2 hours. It won't be 2 hours, I promise. Okay. So, this is going to end up like that. And it will have the opening over here, but I'm going to wait until it dries. And so now I'm going to decorate this part. And like I said, I don't mind if the color of the envelope shows, because it goes well with what I'm working with. So I think that I'm going to I'm going to wait. I'm not going to collage this yet, because I'm going to wait until I decorate, until I'm in the decorating phase, because when I collage, I plan it out, and I'm not sure what picture or anything I'm going to put on there yet. So I'm not going to do anything with that one yet, but we know that it's going to go here. So next envelope, where are my envelopes? What did I do with all my envelopes? Oh, here we go, losing things. Here they are. Okay, next envelope. Let's do no, it's going to have to be smaller. This one. No. Silly girl. This way. This one I'm going to have the opening here. Maybe I want one of these little ones here. And then here. But I think I'm going to need something here. You see how this takes a lot of thought and planning. So if that's there, I don't like that one there. Okay. So this could have the pocket here. I really wish I could find my tiny envelopes. Maybe I might have to make one. I don't know, because I'd like one to go like on this little one here, some maybe from this side even. But these are too big. These are all too big. And I thought I had a much smaller one. I could do it like that, but then it would be a little different, I guess. Like that. Like that. this is going to show if I do it that way. I really wish that I had a small envelope. Well, what if, well, here's a thought. Here's a thought. What if I do this? There's my small envelope, right? Of course you can do that, Mary. All right, I like that. So this will go on here. All right, so this is one that I need to do next. And it's going to go this way. And what do I want it to do? This one's going to have the opening here. This one has the opening here. All right, I'm going to do the opening at the top on this one, which means that I have to cover this again. Let's hope I can remember what I just came up with for the next one. Okay, so I need to cover this. I need to see my color scheme here. What's happening with my color scheme. I think I'll use, I have this paper here, or I have this. Let me see. This. I'll use this one. And it needs to be 5 inches by 3.5. Going this way. 5 inches this way. Oh, come on. Stay still. That's not straight. Five inches by 3.5. So this is why I call it a craft along and not a tutorial, because I really just kind of figure it out as I go along, even though I've already done one of these. I don't know how I cut that short, but that's all right. So I kind of figure things out as I go along. So I don't like to call it a tutorial because I don't want to. I feel like in a tutorial you should be teaching and you should really have your act together and know what you're teaching. And I don't always. I do it. I figure it out as I go along most of the time, and that's how I do my crafting. I wing it, I guess. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing with this as I did with that last one, where I'm going to cover that part so I don't glue it. So basically you're taking your envelopes, picking different sizes, covering them, and you can, again, you can cover them with anything. And we're going to decorate them if I ever get to that point, and make a cute little flippy thing. I'm always afraid I'm going to put these on crooked. Oh, that's not even like on the glue. Look at that. It's not even on the glue. Well, and it's, I don't know how I cut this one so short, but I did. I think there might be enough glue on there to hold it. We'll see. Alright, so I have to let that dry before I cut off that top there. So it's going to be like this. And I think it's going to come under, probably come under that one. No, I think it's going to go over that one. Yeah, that'll work. Then on this one, I think maybe I'll put some more of this. Will that look all right? Depends on how I'm going to decorate it further, I guess. Or I have, all right, where is this? Let's see. There. I could put more of this. Yeah, I don't know if I like that against that. And I could put this. I think I'll do that. Such decisions to make. Now, how is this going to fold? Because it seems to have a weird crease mark there. But I guess I'm going to cover that. So that one's, again, 5 by 3 3/4. And I want it to go this way. So I need the 5. Am I still recording? I think so. I hope so. Okay. I did ink that. Okay. I'm going to ink the whole envelope when I'm done with it anyway, but I do like to ink the individual pieces as I go along. So, how is everybody doing? What projects are you working on? What social media platforms are you on? That seems to be the big thing right now, is the social media platforms. I know I talked about this a little bit earlier, but I just don't know what I want to do because, you know, there's certain principles that I want to get off of Facebook because of, and I'm not going to get into political conversations here, but you know, there's a couple of reasons, and it's not just political. But one of the reasons that I like Facebook is because of the groups. And that's, right now, that's what's keeping me there. I have all news media unfollowed, hidden. I don't see any of that stuff on my news feed because, well, again, I didn't cut that right. I don't see it on my news feed. I don't know why. Actually, I'm going to cut that part off, right? Yeah. I mean, I know why. So my reasons for being on there are, they really are social. So I don't know. I just don't know what to do. So I'm just kind of hanging in for now. I've gone to MeWe to check it out, but it's not pulling me. Not pulling me in. All right, so when this dries, I'm going to trim it up. Actually, I can't trim my sides. I don't know what happened with the sides there. But there's other things that I can do with this when we get to decorating. So, have no fear. We'll fix that. This is going to be trimmed off right here because that's where the opening is going to be for the pocket. I don't want to attempt to trim it yet. So it's going to go here. No, here. Like this. Okay, so now, so far we have this with the pockets going to be at the top, right? We have this where the pocket's going to be at the side, which I can do that right now because this one is dry, so let me do that because we get a better visual of what we're doing once we have the everything in place. Oh, where's my punch? Is this what I said we were going to do? Well, my punch is not working on this thin paper. Not well at all. So yeah, is this? I did say I was doing this one on the side, right? I hope so. This one isn't. Oh, that's the envelope color. Jeez. I'm looking at it going, why didn't I ink this? Oh, yay. Okay, so let's see how that looks now. All right, so there's the notch. I don't like that being all white like that because everything else is, you know what we can do? We can put a strip, say, of this right inside there. I'm going to do that. Just because I don't know. I don't like that being white like that. I need a straight line to put this against. Is that straight? You know what I need is one of those L things. Here, I'll put it up. I'll do this. I'll put it against here. Still can't tell if it's straight, but it's going to be as straight as I can get it. Okay. Will that work? Yeah, but I don't need it as wide. I'll just make it a little bit smaller. See, this is why I should be working on my craft mat, because it does have measuring lines on it. That's going to look better, but I think I need to tear it just a titch, just so it'll fit in there just a tiny bit better. Oh, Mary, Mary, Mary. I'll just cut it. Nobody's going to see it. There. Yeah, I think that's gonna look better if I do that. And then I'll ink it. Okay. I think I'm going to make this a two-part video, just because I'm not timing it. I don't know how long it is, but I can feel that it's gotten pretty long. And I don't want to lose you. But I know how it is. Sometimes you just can't sit and watch a really long video. Oh, gosh. I hope you're crafting while you're watching it. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Sometimes, do you feel like sometimes your fingers just kind of fumble along? I think that worked. And then I have this over here that's coming up. That's not good. We'll just put a little bit of glue under there. Keep that down. Okay. There. That's better. That looks much better than the stark white of the inside of the envelope. Sometimes you have to kind of do that. Or you could ink it, or that. I like that better. Okay. Maybe you can't tell the difference, but I noticed the difference. There. Now I'm going to punch this and hope that it punches better. Now, I'm thinking my punch might need sharpening. I'm gonna, you know what I'll do, until I can get to doing that, I'll just grab another punch. I do use this particular punch a lot, but I have other circle punches I can use. There. Okay, so let's see what we have so far. This one. This one. Alright, so far we have this, which is going to have a thing on the top. This one, which I think is going to come down just a little bit more to there. This one, which opens here. This opens here, and this here. So that's what we have so far. Okay. Now I think I'm going to use this bigger envelope and put it like that. Because I don't necessarily, I like how it came out, but I don't know if I want it showing like when you see the whole thing. I think I want this to be like that. And I might even add one more. I don't have a down flap, do I? No, I don't. So maybe, you see, these are all, oh, I was going to use this. Where was I going to put this? Here. I could put one here. Oh, I kind of like that. Okay. Maybe I'll do that. Alright, so the next one is going to be this. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to end the video here because I realize that it's getting kind of long and it's probably getting kind of boring. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to finish up covering the envelopes. And then in the next video, we will decorate everything that I have. Okay? So what I want you to take away from this video is that we took different size envelopes. And we created different pockets in different directions, overlapping. These are going to get glued down, which I will probably do off camera. So you're going to glue this flap onto the back of this right here. So think about where you want your envelopes, where you want them to lay, what direction your pockets are going in, and then glue them onto the back of your base envelope like that. And then they'll all be held together and they'll all flow together nicely. So I'm going to go off camera. I'm going to finish this part of it, and then the next segment will be, this will be all covered and glued together, and then we'll decorate it. Okay, so thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe, hit the like button, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.